10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, hello. What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody had a good weekend so far? What's up, Dan?
Hey.
Showed up literally on time as I was playing the intro.
Yeah, I saw that. I popped in and I was like expecting to be, a good 15, 20 minutes late or whatever. And no, boom, countdown.
Made it right then.
35 minutes late, the usual 35, 40 minutes late.
We're going to have to hold this down, just the two of us. But
hey, I'm glad I could help. Here, cheers, guys. I'm snapping one open right now.
Cheers. I thought it said choose. I'm like, choose what? What are we choosing from?
No, well, cheers too. Yeah, cheers.
All right. I have water.
What up, Tim? How you doing?
Cheers.
I'm doing all right.
I have water and a Guardians of the Galaxy cup. So that's...
You know what? Hey, that's fine. Good for you. That's awesome. Guardians of the Galaxy. I still have not seen the most recent take on that. I saw the one with I love the first one, and Dave Bautista. Forgive me, I'm a little buzzing right now. Dave Bautista being a wrestler, I was naturally interested and to see how he would do as an actor. And he's like a one-dimensional actor. He's a physique. That's all he is.
I mean, he plays that role well.
Right.
And I've seen him in other stuff that I enjoy. He did this one called what was the name of the one where he's a spy and he's like there's the little girl that kind of becomes reluctant partner, or what, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, that was pretty good. Again, one-dimensional. He's playing the same kind of character, but it was at least a funny movie. And then when he did Stuber, was actually a really funny movie. I think he's got good comedic timing, even though he's not a great actor.
Right.
I think he's got good comedic timing. So I do like him in general. I think he's done very well picking roles that are good for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not trying to fucking pick shit where you're just like, no, dude, you can't do this. He's picking roles that are fairly one-dimensional and playing to his strengths, which is, big dude, action, a little bit of comedy, and it works. So
right.
I give him props for or maybe it's his agent. I don't know. Somebody is making sure he's doing roles that are going to work well for him.
Right.
So,
and you always need a big muscle man on screen too. Like Rolf Moeller is a guy that he played the big German guy in Gladiator. And he can say some lines and stuff. He looks good, like, in an action kind of sequence where he's like beating somebody up or stabbing somebody or something like that. Yeah. He was also in Universal Soldier as one of the cyborgs in Universal Soldier, And so you always need somebody like that who's a big muscle man who can sort of say some lines here and there, but who's more of a presence on the screen. Bill Goldberg is another guy. He was in Universal Soldier, I think 2 or 3. I can't remember which one.
He was in the one where they brought, because 2. Actually, it might have been 4, because I think they did 2 sequels to the original that didn't have Van Damme or Dolph Lundgren in them. And then they did like a 4th one where they brought Van Damme back, and Goldberg was like kind of the main new Universal Soldier bad guy that he had to fight.
Yeah, the big bad. Yeah,
because it was like him, because it was Van Damme, and Van Damme had a daughter with presumably the chick from the first movie. But that chick wasn't in it, like she had died or something. I don't know. She wasn't in the movie, but it was like him and his daughter were in the movie, and he's no longer a Universal Soldier. He's like a normal dude. Well, he's Van Damme, but whatever. That one's actually pretty good. The couple of sequels that came out, or I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 sequels, but that didn't have Van Damme in them were fucking horrible. Universal Soldier is one of my favorite Van Damme movies, along with like Time Cop and Hard Target. I think those are his 3 best movies. But
I think the universe was a good action science fiction. I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can't get in a word.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a good
bad if you don't fucking interrupt. So just Like,
well, at the same time, you are the MC of this chat, and I didn't want to like cut you off. It is your chat, you know what I mean? So,
now what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of my favorite franchises, but it's one of those franchises like, hey, this made some money. Let's attach a rocket to it and see where it flies randomly. And it's like, no, you got to get you hire a professional writer, somebody like Neil Blomkamp or freaking James Cameron or somebody like that, and have them actually take it into a meaningful direction, because you have a lot of source material, a lot of potential here to work. You can work with, you know what I mean? You can take it into the future. You can do a crossover with Universal Soldiers versus Terminators or some shit like that. You know, you can really take it someplace really, really good. But no,
I think Universal Soldier was a great movie with a really cool premise, and
right.
like it was one of the more. I mean, again, and I think that's why I like these movies. But Universal Soldier, Time Cop, and Hard Target were like, well, less Hard Target, but Universal Soldier and Time Cop were very kind of original premises, so to speak. I mean, Time Cop was a comic book first, which is where they got it from.
Right.
But like compared to the other stuff Van Damme has done, like they were some of the more original storylines that he had been a part of. Hard Target, not really so much. It wasn't really an original story. It was just really well done because it was John Woo who did that movie, and he did a great job. I'm a huge John Woo fan. But no, Universal Soldier just has a great storyline and backstory, and you could do a lot with that. And we lost him. You could do a lot with like the backstory and the evolution of like the Universal Soldier program and how it evolved, and do like another movie now in like 2023 where like, you know, this is the most modern interpretation of that program that started in the 1980s or whatever the fuck it was. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot you could do with that. They haven't done any of that shit with it. Like I said, those sequels that didn't have Van Damme in it sucked. And even the one where they brought Van Damme back was okay, but it wasn't great. So, you know, I mean, maybe it's time for a reboot or something. That's a movie I wouldn't mind seeing rebooted. Like, Van Damme's cool, and I like his movies as an action, you know what I mean? But I'm not like loyal to Van Damme, and I don't really care if they wanted to like just do the movie again, you know, just do a modern take on the movie instead of, you know, when did that movie come out? 1991 or something like that, you know? Do like a modern take, like a new Universal Soldier. It doesn't have to be tied into the originals. You know, maybe it's time for that to get like a reboot, you know? And get a modern take on it. I'd be fine with that because it was a good, solid story as long as it was done well. Because sometimes they do these reboots that are just fucking horrible. Although sometimes they do these reboots. Two reboots that come to mind, one better than the other, but two reboots that come to mind that I actually liked. One was the reboot of RoboCop. I thought it was a good movie. It's not.
It is a good movie.
Original, because the original was very, very unique. What's that guy's name who directed it? Van der Hoven or whatever his name is. He's got a very interesting take if you've ever watched his movies, and he incorporated a lot of like very of the time kind of meta, you know, the TV commercials in the background and even a bit of campiness in it that has just helped that movie to really hold up well. So, you know, it would never be as good as the original, but it was like really, it was still the reboot of RoboCop was a really good movie. I like it a lot.
The original RoboCop never existed, and that was just the first one. It'd be really good.
Yeah, exactly. And the other one I really like is Total Recall, where they did a very different take, in my opinion, on the whole story. I mean, but
it's still a really good movie.
Yeah, the basis of the movie, the core of the storyline about the guy who's, you know, forgets who he is, he's really somebody else, and he's a spy and all that stuff, like that's there, but just the take on like, you know, oh no, it's not Earth and Mars, it's like, you know, what is it, Australia and London are the two sides, and it's not, you know, like there's that the whole big plot revolves around that elevator that goes through the center of the earth from one side to the other and stuff. Like, I think that's a really, really good movie. Like, I genuinely love that movie. Is it the original? No, because that's, you know, an Arnold Schwarzenegger classic. But like on its own, I think it's different enough from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that it holds up well. And that movie like tanked at the box office, and it didn't do well at all. And I think it was really, really well done. I think the changes they made to make it different enough from the original worked well. It was a great way to update the story, not rehash any of the like, oh, we're going back to Mars and we got to do it again and we find the alien device and all this shit. They took all of that out of there. They made it an Earth-based story, and it fucking worked, man. I think it's a great movie. I really, really like that movie.
Okay.
So
was that the Total Recall?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Total Recall, the reboot. The one with Colin Farrell. I think that's a great movie. I think they did a fantastic job with that movie. So, but a lot of people, it didn't do well at the movie theater, and you don't really hear anybody talking about it. I mean, I've never met somebody that I can say has watched it and been like, oh, that movie sucks. Like everybody I know who's watched it, which isn't that many people, like the movie. It's just one of those movies that kind of went under the radar, didn't make any money. Nobody talks about it anymore. And I think that's a shame because I think it was a really good, kind of a post-apocalyptic sci-fi, movie that had, some basic elements similar to what we had already seen. Honestly, if you're comparing them movie to movie, right? Like the reboot is a better movie than the original. The original is just so good because it's a Arnold Schwarzenegger classic and it's so of its time, 1990. We're still in that 80s action hero movie phase, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was at his peak. And like, there's just a lot of wonderful nostalgia with that movie. But like, if you take that out of it, the reboot is a better movie. It's better written, it's better acted, it's better directed. The special effects obviously are better because it's, 20 years later or whatever it is, like it's a better movie than the original. It's just, I still like the original better because I grew up with it. You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of what it boils down to. But
I think it came out, there was a big stretch of those kind of post-apocalyptic sci-fi movies that all really looked similar.
Yeah.
Like Edge of Tomorrow, Total Recall, the District 9 movie, like all those came out within like 5 or so years of each other.
By the way,
it just
3 excellent movies.
Yeah, they're all good.
Exactly.
Yes. Agreed.
I maintain Edge of Tomorrow or Kill, or Live, or was it Live, Die, Repeat?
Live, Die, Repeat.
Yes.
Is one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time.
And one of the biggest marketing blunders of all time.
One of the what?
Biggest marketing blunders.
Oh, yeah, I know.
That's the reason that movie failed.
I know, which is insane because it's such a great fucking movie.
It was a Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, Groundhog Day movie.
It's a sci-fi masterpiece is what that is. Like that movie is that is like a perfect movie. I can watch that movie over and over and over again and never get bored. You know what I mean?
Me too.
That movie is fucking phenomenal. So,
wasn't that Bill Paxton's last movie too?
I don't know if it was his last movie. He died in the middle of what was that show he was doing? They did a TV version of the Denzel Washington movie. The fuck
Equalizer?
No.
No,
The Denzel Washington movie where he's the cop where he's the fucking corrupt cop, and Ethan Hawke is the new trainee. Training Day.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, the last thing Bill Paxton did, he was in the middle of shooting. He was in the middle of filming the second season of Training Day. He played the corrupt cop. They did a season of it. They were going to keep going on the show, and he died. But he played the Denzel Washington role of the corrupt cop, training the new guy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was actually a good show.
Yeah.
But
how old was he when he passed on? He had to be close to 60 years old, wasn't he?
I think it might have been in his early 60s.
Yeah, he still looked pretty. Like in was it Edge of Tomorrow? He still looked pretty youthful. Like he kept himself in shape or something like that. I mean, he was very convincing as an army sergeant. He looked like a late 30s, maybe 40-year-old army sergeant in that movie.
And he was in his late 50s in Edge of Tomorrow.
Right, no doubt.
When he died. So, but But yeah, Edge of Tomorrow's fucking great. But I can't really say it's an underrated movie because it has become a cult classic.
Oh, it's been reclaimed, definitely.
Yeah, and it is now highly regarded as a great sci-fi movie. So I can't call it underrated. But it certainly didn't get its due at the movies. That's for damn sure.
Right.
So, but that's a fantastic one right there. Have y'all seen this thing? Came out of nowhere. I had never heard of this fucking movie. Like 2 days ago, I'm scrolling through Facebook and it's like, oh, new movie. And I'm like, I haven't heard of this. So I watched the trailer on Facebook and then I'm like, I got to watch that on the big screen. So I fucking put my TV to YouTube and I go find the trailer and me and my wife watch it. Cause I'm like, I gotta see this. I gotta see this trailer, not just on my fucking phone. And it's this movie called The Creator. I had
it's like
heard of this
Star Wars
movie before. I've been hearing about 2 days ago. It's directed by the guy who did Rogue One, which automatically gives me fucking a lot of hope. The trailer's fucking phenomenal. It stars what's his name? Isaiah Washington? Is that his name? What's his name? It's Denzel Washington's kid.
John David Washington.
There you go.
The guy from Tenet, right?
Yeah, the guy from Tenet, and he's been in a bunch of shit. Yeah. Anyway, it stars him, and it takes place in the future where AI has, which, you know, this is a recurring theme in sci-fi. AI has gone wrong and tried to wipe out humanity, and it takes place on the cusp of humanity winning the war. And I don't want, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all in the fucking trailer, but like essentially they find a little AI child and it becomes this like race to where he's got to decide like, okay, I'm a human trying to take out the AI, but now the AI and the humans want this kid for some reason. It's important. And so he kind of, the trailer makes it like he becomes kind of the protector of this kid, trying to save this kid from both the AI and the humans. And so he's kind of like torn. Anyway, The Creator, trailers on YouTube. I watched this thing, had never fucking heard about it. And it was a beautiful trailer. Like this movie, if I'm going by the trailer, like this movie looks fantastic. So this fucking trailer got me so hyped to see this movie I had never heard of. I don't know if this movie is like, you know, I don't know where it came from. Was this a book? Was this a graphic novel? Is this an original screenplay? I have no idea. All I know is the trailer was fucking phenomenal, and it comes out, I think, in September. And I definitely want to see this damn movie. Like it looked great. If you haven't seen the trailer, do yourself a favor, go watch the trailer for The Creator. I think it just dropped on Thursday because that's when it started showing up in my fucking feed on Facebook. So I'm assuming that was it. Oh, I think Ledlace dropped the trailer link in there if anybody wants to watch it. But it looked fucking phenomenal. So yeah, that got me nice and hyped for whatever this movie is. I'm curious if it came from something else or if it's an original screenplay, you know, because a lot of times these sci-fi things, just like with Edge of Tomorrow, that was a fucking graphic novel, you know. A lot of these sci-fi fucking movies that come out come from something, a book, a comic, something, you know what I mean? Because it looks very, it looked like a very complex story overall. Just the world, everything looked. What am I trying to say? The world and like everything looked rich.
I think it's original,
but you know what I mean. Like this did not look like a surface level sci-fi movie. Like just the shots of like the, you know, where there was there was a couple shots in the trailer that flashed by pretty quick, but you can see we're in like a little fucking village of like fucking androids, and they all look different, and the world looks rich and lived in, you know. It looked, the storyline as portrayed in the trailer looked like a deep storyline. Like it looked really, really good. So I don't know, man, but All of a sudden, I'm excited for this movie I never knew was coming. So
I think it's original IP because Gareth Edwards is the writer and also the story by. And usually, if it's like there's other sources, they give a credit, a story by credit.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool, man. That's really cool. He's done some great stuff because I know he had a hand in writing Rogue One as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously he can to an extent anyway. I'm sure he didn't like write the whole screenplay or anything, but to an extent, he's got an eye for storytelling and world building because he did phenomenal with Rogue One. So, I'd highly recommend everybody check out that trailer because it looked fucking sweet, man. It looked great.
I'm just curious that Sturgill Simpson is going to be in it.
Who?
He's a country music singer. And he's in it. And I'm like,
never heard of him.
Oh! You want to see him his music's pretty good. It's like, it's more old, like almost folky.
Yeah. Is he like, let me ask you, because there was a lot of like fucking military dudes in this. Does he look like he could pull off like a military dude?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe he's playing that. Because, several of the scenes were of like John David Washington and like a bunch of other military dudes like doing shit, like they're fucking fighting in wartime and all that shit. So, but yeah, it's a really cool trailer. The whole trailer starts out with, and I'm completely paraphrasing here because I don't remember the exact wording, but the trailer starts with like, we built AI to make our lives better. And then it tried to destroy us all. And it shows this like fucking huge thing floating in space above Earth, like fucking sending some fucking laser down to the surface. And you know how they cut together scenes. That might not be the AI. I have no idea. But I'm just saying, like, just the beats of the trailer was cut beautifully. Like it really gets you like pumped up and hyped for this movie, And
what's this movie called? I'm going to take a look at that trailer. What's it called?
It's called The Creator. I wish I could play it without getting a fucking copyright strike, which doesn't make any sense on YouTube, because you have it on YouTube, and all I'm doing is promoting the thing. I'm not playing the movie. I'm playing the fucking trailer, but they won't let you play that shit on a live chat. Makes no goddamn sense, but whatever.
You just got to pause it every 10 seconds.
Yeah. But it looked really fucking good. I highly recommend people check it out. You know what? Fuck it.
I'll have to look.
Well, if you have people,
just pull up the.
If you have people freely promoting a movie on YouTube, it kind of takes away the onus of them being paid to promote it now, doesn't it?
Well, the problem is that it's not about that. It's just YouTube automatic algorithms will ding your fucking chat real goddamn quick.
I know, but my point is that YouTube's just being a greedy bitch. Yeah.
So it's not even like they're not, looking at it objectively, but yeah.
20th Century does not care that you're doing this.
Yeah. They want people to go see their movie.
What's heaven?
It's a peaceful place in the sky.
Are you going to heaven?
It's got Dream On playing in the background.
Right.
Fucking song.
Yeah.
It's great. The fucking
No.
Oh wow.
You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
Anyway, I would love to play the whole goddamn thing for everybody, but go check out the fucking trailer.
I saw
I have to look that up.
Go ahead.
No, I was done. I was just saying I'm definitely gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, me too. Anytime you take a Led Zeppelin song, like I think it was I can't remember the name of the song, but like you take a Led Zeppelin song and you mix it with like a techno beat or a hip hop heavy bass beat or something like that, you can put any kind of dramatic scenery to it, and it's like automatically going to resonate.
That's not Led Zeppelin, right?
It's Aerosmith, not Led Zeppelin.
Dream On is Aerosmith.
Oh, okay.
I knew that.
My bad.
I was wondering where I was getting Led Zeppelin from, because it's like, that's Aerosmith.
I'm drinking.
Your old card has been revoked.
I know. I'm a bad person. I'm just a terrible person.
That's the music I grew up on.
But it's from the same era. Give me a break.
All right. Josh T. Duff in the Super Chat says it's probably a prequel to AI. No, because like in AI, everything's still nice and friendly and all that shit. But like this is like it made this seem like this is like in the middle of an active war between humans and AI. So I don't think it's a prequel to AI. Although, I was just thinking about that movie the other day, and I was like, I haven't seen that in a really fucking long time. I'm a big fan of Isaac Asimov, and I know AI is not, whatever exactly Isaac Asimov, but like I like those types of movies, like AI, like Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams. Like I really, really like that movie. I, Robot, obviously, like I don't know, I like, I grew up being into sci-fi and Terminator and shit, and so those kind of movies I always like, that type of AI shit. Even though AI is something everyone should be terrified of because it's probably going to destroy us in the next 5 fucking years, but whatever. Go back to last night's chat where I talked about that ad nauseum. But yeah, anyway.
I would like to point something out about this. Do you know how Honda and I were discussing about how the elites like to telegraph stuff before they do it? Just saying, this movie might be something. AI is coming into its own, and
there you go.
There's conflict. Just saying.
Yep.
All right.
It's not a movie. It's a preview of life. There you go.
It is a documentary in advance.
Yep.
It's a pre-documentary.
No, yeah.
Before we go on too much further, there's 3 movies that I've seen recently that I want to comment on briefly.
Please do.
Wednesday night, I finally watched Quantumania.
Okay. And
I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
As far as Marvel movie goes, I don't think it was great, but it was okay, and I enjoyed it.
It's middle of the road Marvel. That's what it is. Middle of the road Marvel. It's not as bad as Eternals or Thor Dark World, but it's not high-end Marvel by any stretch of the imagination. It's a fun movie.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And Thursday night I watched Kick-Ass 2, so I finally seen both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Which are fun movies and kind of silly, but
I think Kick-Ass 2 is a good movie. I think the first Kick-Ass is a great movie. The second one was good.
Yeah.
So.
But the thing that got me the most is I did not realize at first until I was looking up another actor in the entire movie that the girl that plays Hit Girl is the same girl that plays Carrie in the remake.
Yeah. Chloe Gates Moretz.
It didn't hit me because it's like, okay, she's some little girl. She looks like she's about 12. So it's like,
that was kind of her breakout role.
Apparently it was, because that was before she made Carrie, which I thought she did well in Carrie in that remake.
She also did this show that I'm completely blanking on the name of it. It's this
The Peripheral
Amazon show. Peripheral, yeah, really fucking good show. If you've got Amazon, or if you just have access to that website, The Peripheral, really fucking good show. Like I didn't know anything about it going into it, so I won't say anything about it. Was very impressed. Me and my wife watched that, and we both loved it. Really good show. It's on Amazon. So,
because that Chloe, whatever her name is she seems to be a pretty good little actor.
Yeah. All right. What's the third movie you watched?
As the one I watched this evening, I was talking about before the show started. Cocaine Bear. Fun movie, kind of silly because of how outlandish it is when you know the real story.
Yeah.
So like as good as a line I'm stealing from you, Matt. It's a good popcorn movie.
Yeah, look, it's not a great movie, but it's a stupid fun.
I don't know.
It's
exactly.
like that's what it boils down to. It's a stupid fun movie. I'm glad I didn't pay to go to the movies to see it, but because I would have been like, but like I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
then
Cocaine Bear reminds me
looking up on YouTube the real story about it and how a hunter found the bear dead and they didn't realize it had eaten all the cocaine until they autopsied it, found out its stomach was packed with cocaine.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that movie called Badasses where they took that one video of an old guy beating the crap out of a couple of thugs on a bus, And then they actually decided, hey, this is a popular thing. Let's make a whole movie about it. And they went way off course. They're like, he's a veteran who like blows up. He goes straight vigilante. It's one of those things. Like they took something simple and they made something really, really big out of it. They tried to. That's what Cocaine Bear is to me.
I think they even made a sequel to that.
They did.
Yeah, they did. Danny Glover was in it. Yeah,
and Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo was the main character in the first one. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
and you mentioned Chloe Grace Moretz. She's actually come a long way since that movie. She was in a very good, well-acted movie called If I Stay. Very good movie.
I know what that is.
I recommend it. She was also in The Equalizer. I think it was the original Equalizer, where I think it was the original Equalizer. Yeah, she's got a very bright career. She's come a long way. She's gonna be like the next. Who? She's got. Let me just put it this way: she's got a lot of potential. You know what I mean? So as an actress,
definitely.
So, yeah. But I recommend.
She was good in Equalizer.
Yeah, she was good in Equalizer, and to be sure, she speaks fluent Russian in real life. So that's like why they chose her. Her and Mila Kunis also speak fluent Russian. Mila Kunis is actually of Ukrainian ancestry.
Oh yeah,
she's from that area.
She didn't come here until she was 12 or 13.
Right.
And when she came here, she did not speak English.
Right.
And she only spoke Russian, and she had learned how to speak English shortly before she got cast at 14 years old on that 70s show.
Right. Right.
Oh, wow.
And if you notice in that 70s show, she has the slightest hint. Yeah.
Because like in that show, I watched that show and I didn't hear that till years later. I had no idea English was not her first language.
Right.
I had no fucking clue.
I learned that like when you started talking about it 2 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was today years old when I learned that. Yeah. I say that a lot. But no, Mila Kunis, you can tell by the cadence of her speech that American English is not her first language. Like it's very subtle, but if you're looking for it, you can find it. And she was in what was that movie with was it Max Payne? She was the Russian female mob boss, and she speaks fluent Russian. They didn't have to teach her anything. She just,
wish they would make a fourth Max Payne game.
All right, I got some questions over on the Geek Fusion side. 500 Magnum says, "What's your favorite movie from the 70s? Mine's Halloween." I gotta say Star Wars. I gotta say Star Wars. I can't not say Star Wars.
Yeah, A New Hope.
A New Hope. It's got to be fucking Star Wars. That's my favorite movie of the 1970s. I could not, in good conscience, pick anything else other than Star Wars. So
there's so many genres. I mean, that's a hard one. That's like saying, "What's your favorite car?" Or it's like, well, my favorite 70s themed movie that's set on Earth in the 70s is probably going to be Taxi Driver. And there's that. And then, but like science fiction, I'm going to go with Alien.
You like Alien more than A New Hope?
I
would say as far as sci-fi movies go, it's a second to Star Wars.
Maybe. Okay. I'm going to go with it because it's
now if we're talking like Aliens, that's way better than
that's 80s. Yeah. No. Well, that's 80s though. That's not. I'm talking Alien as far as like science fiction.
Yeah.
To me, I saw Star Wars as a kid, so yeah, it's obviously going to be in there. But to me, it was like kind of a kids movie, whereas like Taxi Driver and Alien were both movies that were fit for adults. And I saw them later, and they're both from the 70s. So I don't know.
I turned 12 the year A New Hope came out, and yeah.
500 Magnum also says, in your opinion, what's the best movie of the 80s? Has to be for me First Blood or Lethal Weapon. The best movie of the 80s? Holy shit.
You're going to have to chop that up into categories. You're going to have to chop.
No kidding.
Yeah. Predator.
I mean, you've got, so first of all, you've got Aliens. You've got the first Terminator. You've got Batman 89. You've got
Predator.
Some of my favorite movies like Better Off Dead and Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Weird Science, which huge fans of those. But then you've got Wrath of Khan, and you know, Empire Strikes Back. Like, I don't know how I would pick a favorite movie from the 80s. Like, it would definitely have to be by category. I could do a top 10 in each category of the 80s.
Right.
You know?
Oh, no kidding.
I mean,
then you have like those silly, funny movies like Hamburger the movie. One Crazy Summer was another Cusack movie.
Yeah.
And you got just you have to chop that up into categories, man. There's about 4 or 5 like comedy, science fiction, horror, you know, action, you know. So
yeah, there's
Back to the Future.
I don't think
go Back to the Future.
I don't think I could pick. I could sit here and pick like what's the best 80s movie. I have no idea. I've got too many.
Yeah, the Back to the Future movies.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Fucking Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
There's so many
First Raiders of the Lost Ark
movies from the 80s
right.
that I could not pick a favorite. You know, I'd have to break it up in category, and even that would be difficult. So,
and when did Blazing Saddles come out?
That was in the late 70s, like 78 something.
78.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember if it was late 70s, early 70s, or early 80s. It was somewhere in there.
Yeah,
it's that's a tough one, man. Especially, you know, because I was of that age, right? I was growing up in the 80s. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like,
right.
like those are the movies that defined my childhood into my early teenage years. You know what I mean? Like
the 80s, and another one of those,
like the 80s ended
early or late 70s, early 80s movies. Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Platoon.
Blade Runner.
The 80s.
Yeah, Platoon.
The 80s are my life from basically when I could remember until I was 13 years old. And everybody remembers that time of their life, and those movies are hugely impactful to the rest of your life.
Your formative years. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really, really, really fucking hard to try and narrow that down again. Like, I'd have a tough time doing a top 10 just in multiple categories because there's
bracket idea. This is a great bracket idea. Top 10 80s sci-fi movies, something or you know, and then you could take the winners of the sci-fi and the One Crazy Summer, the Cusack movies, and put them all in their own contest and go for an ultimate the best 80s movie.
You'd have to do sci-fi. You'd have to do action. You'd have to do comedy,
horror.
I think a definitively 80s category that really doesn't apply to any other decade is teen movie. Because you look at stuff like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Weird Science and a lot of these great fucking movies I grew up with, and they're not
16 Candles.
16 Candles. They're not really comedies, but they're not action. They're not really drama. They're like just teen movies, if for lack of a better fucking category for them, that are very definitively 80s. Like the 80s really boomed in that, and then you know they in the 90s went a lot different route. There wasn't as many quote unquote teen movies in the 90s because everything kind of moved. The movie watching audience as it was aging out of that, but still wanted to watch those same types of things that they had enjoyed. They weren't making more of those movies for kids or teenagers in the 90s. Instead, what they were doing is they were still catering, like the same people like me who liked Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Right? It was, well, now you like Gen X movies. So we were getting shit like fucking Singles and stuff like that, where it's about now, because that's kind of how it worked, right? Kids wanted to see movies about teenagers. And then once we were teenagers and things like that, we wanted to see movies about people in their fucking college years or their 20s. And a lot of that followed that group because those were the people going to the movies. You know what I mean? And it honestly, there was movies in the 80s and 90s catered very, very heavily to Gen X. And which, you know, those people born between like what, 67 to 81 or whatever it was. It catered very
65
heavily.
79 when it is the most common.
Right.
Yeah. It catered very, very heavily to those people born in that generation, which is my generation. And so like teen movies just didn't really become a thing in the 90s, but they were huge in the 80s. And you know, when I was a kid, you know, I wanted to see stories about people in fucking high school. And that's what those movies were about. You know, the shenanigans and shit that high school kids got into, you know.
Yeah.
And but I don't know, that really hasn't been a thing. I mean, I mean, it's not just me, right? Like teen movies, the way they were in the 80s, don't exist anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like occasionally you get like fucking what are those cheerleader movies that had like 5 sequels or something?
Oh,
like
Bring It
you
On.
get like that.
That's
There was a
Bring It
cool
On.
movie recently that starred Emma Stone called Easy A.
That's not
And,
recent. That was
that-
10 years
20
ago.
years ago, but that
Well, I
It
just
came out
saw
in,
it
like,
recently. So,
2011.
you know
Okay.
what? You need to be quiet, Charlie. You don't tell me nothing. I'm your elder. I am your elder, and you need to reproach me with respect.
Man.
Let me tell you something. Okay, back into the 80s. The two of the teen movies, 16 Candles and Some Kind of Wonderful, were also of that same.
great, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic
I mean, you
movies.
look pretty much anything that John Hughes did in the 80s.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, it was a, you know, the quote unquote teen movie was a very unique thing to the 80s. It wasn't something that was really seen in the 60s or 70s, and it died off by the 90s, but there was a huge demand for it in the 80s. So
Right.
it's one of those unique 80s categories that doesn't really exist anymore.
Right.
But anyway,
Nothing exists until I become aware of it, Charlie. Just saying.
well, if we're going by elders, then Tim's going to tell us all what to do.
I know. Tim
Exactly.
has the moral authority to tell us all to put us all in our place. Just saying.
Yeah.
All
right. I want to get to my review of Fast X, which I saw today, and it's in the title of this video. We've been going for 43 minutes, and I haven't gotten to the fucking title of the video yet. Not my intention, but we were having good conversation. So,
yeah.
I saw Fast X today, and my first thought when the movie was over, and I'm going to explain what I mean by this. Okay, my first thought was it is the Empire Strikes Back of the Fast and Furious franchise. Now, that is not to say I think it is the best Fast and Furious movie. But it is to say that there are a lot of similar story beats and feelings in the sense that, and I think most people know this is not spoiling anything, and I'm not going to spoil this movie, right? But this movie is the beginning of a finale trilogy, okay? I think most people know that. Fucking Vin Diesel's been talking about it on social media, that kind of thing. They're planning to end with 12. And so this is like the first part. I think originally they were going to do 11, and it was going to be a 2-parter, and they've decided to make it a 3-parter. Whatever, I don't care. I like these movies. And this is kind of the first part of finishing off this franchise, which I understand. I think at this point, Vin Diesel is 56 years old, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Like,
Something like that, yeah.
He's probably like ready to stop doing these movies. But so when I say it's kind of the Empire Strikes Back of the Fast and Furious franchise is remember kind of the feeling of Empire Strikes Back. It is the feeling that, you know, all the happiness and hope that we got in A New Hope, right? And the kind of complete story we got with A New Hope, like everything goes to shit for our heroes in Empire Strikes Back, right? Like the bad guys, when that movie is over, the bad guys have fucking won. They have, you know, fucking wrecked the rebellion. Fucking Han's frozen in carbonite. Luke got his hand chopped off and got bitch slapped by his fucking dad. Like, that movie ends, everything has gone to shit for the characters, right?
Right.
That's this movie. That's this movie. Okay. Except it's Fast and Furious. So there's lots of insanely ridiculous and impossible things that happen while driving cars in this movie.
So the protagonists have kind of been
in the trailer.
Yeah.
So the main characters.
Go ahead. The most recent trailer that came out less than a week ago It literally gives the entire movie away. I made the mistake of watching this thinking that, well, surely they didn't give anything away in that trailer. Surely the third act of the trailer, there's not, you know, they wouldn't put anything from the third act in the fucking trailer, right? No, they did. They did. Don't watch the most recent trailer. Just don't watch any trailers.
I think I've already seen it, but anyway.
Not that it ruined the movie. These are Fast and Furious movies. You know what to expect. But I will say it is the only Fast and Furious movie that has ever ended where shit did not go right for the main characters. So this movie is a lot of fucking crazy action and a lot of build up to continue this particular story, which we've never gotten in these movies before because they always have a beginning, middle, and end in every movie. And sure, there's like a post-credit scene that's like leaving the door open for the next movie or whatever, right? But whatever the problem is in a particular Fast and Furious movie, they solve that particular problem by the end of the movie, right? Happens every fucking movie. This one, it does not. I will say some of the best scenes in the entire movie are between John Cena and the kid who plays Dom's kid now, who's now probably, I guess he's supposed to be like 9 years old, 10 years old, something like that. The kid he found out he had in the 7th movie, I guess. I can't remember, 7th or 8th movie or whatever the fuck it was, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So now that kid's like 9 or 10 years old. And there's this whole kind of the secondary storyline of like John Cena's character, who, if you didn't watch the last movie, I don't know what to fucking tell you. It came out 2.5 years ago, but whatever. John Cena's character plays Vin Diesel's character's brother. And anyway, so there's this whole, side storyline going on where John Cena's character, Dom's brother, is like trying to save the kid while Dom is off doing all this other shit. And so there's a good chunk of the movie where it keeps going to scenes of just the two of them hanging out and doing stuff while they're, doing what they're doing and, on the run and that kind of stuff. Fucking great. I'll tell you what, John Cena is an incredibly entertaining dude. Like, he is probably one of the handful of wrestlers that actually like has good comedic chops and good timing and is like funny. I think he's better funny than he is as an action star. He's a funnier dude than as an action star, he's just another big dude that can do action, but he's actually legitimately funny.
Yeah.
So his shit in the movie was done well. Like I said, dude, it's a Fast and Furious movie, man. Like, if you like these movies, you're going to like this movie. There's no exception to it. I will say that there was something I had even told my wife about a week ago. I was like, I bet this thing is going to happen. And it fucking happened right at the end of the movie. Specifically, I was like, I bet there's this one character that's going to come back. And sure as shit, it did. And it's not the character everybody thinks that's going to come back, because that was already leaked. Because that character comes back in a post-credit scene, which I knew about going into it. This was a different character who we hadn't seen for like 3 or 4 movies. And I was like, I bet this character's coming back. Because they're literally bringing everybody back in these fucking movies.
I swear, if they brought back who I think they brought back, they can't have. This is why we can't have nice things.
I mean, watch the movie, you'll find out. I don't know. Look, again, if you like the Fast and Furious movies, which I like all of them except for Part 2, which is a horrible piece of shit movie that shouldn't exist. You should just never fucking watch it. I like all these movies. They're fucking stupid. They're insane. They're completely unrealistic, but they're highly entertaining. And that's when I watch a movie, I want to fucking be entertained. And these movies are very entertaining. They're impossible. Like, there's so much shit in this movie that is physically impossible. Like, just they ignore the laws of physics in this movie, but they've been doing that for 5 fucking movies. So, whatever. I don't even give a shit anymore because they're fucking impossible fucking movies. I'm just having fun while I'm sitting there. I figure, you know what? If I can sit down and watch a goddamn Marvel movie or a DC movie and believe fucking Superman can do the shit he can just because he's from another fucking planet and no other explanation, Just he's alien, and their planet has a higher gravity, so that explains why he can fly here. No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. It doesn't make any goddamn sense how coming from a planet where gravity is heavier that you could come to Earth and fucking fly. It doesn't explain that at all. But yet I'll watch those goddamn movies. So I figure if I can watch that shit, I can watch this ridiculous shit and get some enjoyment out of it, and I fucking did.
You know,
So,
it makes more sense when you realize that when Superman originally came out, he couldn't fly. He could just jump really far.
he could jump really high, yeah. Which makes way more sense, by the way. It really does. That makes way more fucking sense. Yeah.
Right. He could leap tall buildings in a single bound. That was literally the catch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although, honestly, it makes no sense because if the idea was that, well, he could do that because you're talking about a people that come from a planet where gravity's higher, therefore they get to Earth, they're much stronger. Except he came here when he was a baby, which means he's lived here his entire fucking life, so his body wouldn't be used to that Like, there's so much about Superman doesn't make any fucking scientific sense at all. I don't give a shit. I still like watching Superman shit and reading the comic books, so I don't really bitch too much about it. So, again, if you can watch superhero movies, you can watch these. And as I said, if you like the other Fast and Furious movies, you're going to like this one. So,
hey, Corey just popped in. Hey, Corey, what's up?
52 minutes late. 52 minutes late. What were we saying before the chat, Tim? I was like, well, Corey's usually 30 minutes late. He's trying to break the record here to be 52 minutes late. Although Honda was early, because I said Honda's usually about an hour late.
Yeah.
And he
Corey's trying to be Matt.
For a few minutes anyway, so he's actually early. Corey's late. Corey's late for Corey, and Honda's early for Honda. That's what it is.
That's what I'm doing right now. That's why I'm late.
Okay, so here's the thing. If I can be that guy in the meme that says, actually, like Superman, like if their gravity was high, then they would be small. They would be short, low to the ground. Genetically, that would be part of their DNA code. And even though Clark Kent was born here on Earth, his DNA would dictate that he was short because his people were. So he would be a small, he would be like Super Midget, but really, really strong.
You just want to be big next to Superman.
Flying Super Midget.
Yes, Super Midget.
I thought Superman got his powers because they had a red sun and we have a yellow sun, but that does kind of imply
part of it. But that wasn't. It wasn't until the 1980s when they rebooted all of DC continuity that they actually ever bothered to explain why the yellow sun makes him stronger. For the first 50 years Superman was a character, they were just like, oh, well, the red sun makes him weak. So if he's with the yellow sun, he's not. And they never fucking explain it at all until the 1980s. Somebody finally came up with the idea of like, well, his body absorbs the radiation of a yellow sun differently than it absorbs the radiation of a red sun, which helps give him superpowers. So they kind of started to explain it a little bit in the 1980s, but like he was created in the 1930s. Like it took 40 fucking years before they tried to explain why the yellow sun did anything to him.
You know, in an older galaxy, eventually the only thing that'll be left is red dwarf stars. Because all the yellow and white and blue and whatever other stars die faster than the red ones because the red ones are smaller and live longer for some reason. They just don't burn as much fuel. So
there was actually a fan. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Superman in the distant future will have no power. Is the point?
Unless he goes to another galaxy, a newer galaxy or something. There was actually a novel series. Or if he
starts crashing fucking stars together, that would be the
Yeah, there's actually a novel series that's similar to like that. It's a sci-fi adventure fantasy called Fading Suns, and that's it kind of addresses everything you're talking about there.
There's a storyline in the comics, and I can't remember exactly what it's from, where there's a future alternate version of Superman who, I'm trying to remember why he did it. I don't know if like Lois Lane died or something, but he decides he's going to leave Earth, and he goes and just lives in the sun for hundreds and hundreds of years and just sits there for hundreds and hundreds of years just becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, absorbing the sun's radiation until one day he comes back to Earth and he's like fucking just can do anything.
He's just golden. I've seen.
Yeah, he's just like he's just so fucking powerful. Like Superman wasn't powerful enough already,
right?
For some shit. He just like lived in the sun for a few hundred years.
Jeez.
I can't remember what the details, but
wouldn't he be smarter to just go find like a white star? Like one that's basically going supernova.
I have no idea,
all that radiation.
It's fucking comic books. I don't know.
Or is it just yellow sun that gives you energy?
I don't know. They always say it's the yellow sun. I don't fucking know, man.
Speaking of Superman, have you seen that new?
Too many details.
Why don't you know, you nerd?
I should, but I don't.
Speaking of Superman, have you seen that new McFarlane?
Wait, what?
Have you seen that new McFarlane's armored Superman that came out?
The like barbarian not barbarian, but like he's like medieval.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him today at Walmart.
Yeah, I saw him today too. He's fucking cool.
Yeah. I just got this one today. I didn't even take him out of the package. Yeah.
Batman's my favorite superhero.
Yeah, I just got him.
Why? Because he's psychotic?
The serial killer?
No, I don't like Batman.
Anybody with enough money and enough training and enough practice and enough equipment and enough time, if they dedicated themselves hard enough and had all that, like, financial backing and had a cave and a butler and all that stuff, you could actually become fucking Batman. Like, if Elon Musk wanted to become Batman,
right,
he could.
Yep.
No, you're right.
If Elon Musk wanted to be fucking Superman, I don't think there's anything he can do.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know about Superman, but definitely Batman or Iron Man for sure.
Right.
Or the Punisher or something like that. My big problem with Batman, and I like the idea of a armored vigilante millionaire guy, a normal person who's highly trained using tech to kind of augment his abilities and stuff. I get that. That's cool. I don't like the idea that he just takes the criminals like mass murderers and let's just put you in an asylum because I trust the system. You know what I mean? Nah, not saying. I'm more. I have like the Punisher's take on dealing with criminals.
Your dirty
more.
mouth.
Batman, you be quiet.
Perfect. He's perfect, and you need not.
It is a good thing because that proves it's not that he's right to do that, is that he's wrong. It shows Batman.
No, but if you look at the, like, if there was a running tally of criminals that were actually stopped versus how many crimes they actually committed, like, Punisher's got a way better track record than Batman does.
Yes, it does.
Way better. He's stopped far more crimes than Batman could ever dream of because Batman won't fucking kill him.
Yeah, but he's got a cool fucking jet.
He does.
And he's got a cool ass car. He's got a badass motorcycle. He's got a cool boat.
He's got
grappling hooks.
Yep.
The cape that can fly, dude. It's like a fucking hang glider.
Yeah. All right, let me get these
He's
super
still
chats.
a serial killer.
But does he have machine guns?
God damn it, I'm going to get super chats. Everybody shut the fuck up for a minute.
Everybody's on their phone.
Fuck, I've been trying to get super chats forever. You won't stop talking. No, let me get these super chats real quick. Josh T says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how family was it? I think they mentioned family more in this than every other Fast and Furious movie combined. It was great. Like, if you were going to take a shot every time they said family, you'd die before the end of this movie.
Do it for the family.
So, yeah. Calvin Public says, just got here. Read my last chat. No hate. What was your last chat?
Like 3 up.
Oh, he says, E Honda is here. Maybe the geek chat won't be too boring. LOL. Honda,
you're welcome.
Well, he's like saying you'd be bored in the geek chat.
He's saying he'd be bored without me, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I think he's saying that Honda spices things up.
I put some spice on it.
Put some stank on it. Josh T says, but he grew up in Kansas and everyone knows they're all corn-fed. That increases their natural abilities. Yeah, it turns them into fucking
true
mutants. Fucking all that GMO corn.
Well,
yeah, with the pesticides on it.
Radiated all the corn.
Yeah, it's either that or like early cancer.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
That was one of my nicknames in the
discovered it
Wolf
right there.
film.
Superman's
Early
not
cancer?
an alien. Superman's not an alien. He's just a mutant. Ate all that GMO. Mutated him. That's all it was.
Well, they didn't start selling GMO till 1996, so I don't know how you explain that.
Yeah. Take that.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Well, they were developing it before that, but it was only on like Monsanto farms that were owned by Monsanto with like laboratory farmer dudes.
And they started somewhere. They had the Kents growing their shit for them first.
They paid to cover up the spaceship landing if they test runned all their corn.
Yeah, that actually makes some sense.
That tracks.
Yeah, it tracks totally. You're right. So, like the Kent farm is actually like an early Area 51. It's like there's UFOs here. There's experimental crap here. Right?
Yeah, it's not the yellow sun. It's the estrogen mimickers.
Yes.
That make him strong.
I saw a report the other day, and it said that and this seems obvious, but that estrogen is a trigger for breast cancer. I was like, that does make sense. That'd be why women get it far more often than men. And I was like, some people might have a problem.
Right.
They show that men who have higher levels of estrogen have a much higher level of cancer. Because men have estrogen that they naturally produce in their body. Women have testosterone that they naturally produce in their body. Men have more testosterone. Women have more estrogen. If you're a man and you have more than the average amount of estrogen for a man, I don't know what the exact statistic is, but it's like a dramatic increase in the likelihood that you're going to get some kind of cancer.
Right.
Which is like, hey, everybody, get on these hormone replace. Oh, this is in the right chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I did mention
I always go there. It's where my mind goes.
Yeah, I did mention something that you and I talked about movies, using movies to telegraph what's going to happen next. Remember we talked about that? And the whole AI versus humans thing came up, and I was like, aha.
There you go.
Anyways, my bad.
Matt chats are so much better without Adam. Jimmy Knees. Did he die? Oh, come on. Adam's a nice guy. No, I just haven't heard
Adam
in a long time.
Like there were times like I wanted to like fucking like slap him, but
Adam was.
But we all feel like that about each other all the time,
right? So that's nothing new.
I mean, I tried to fly the Predator drone over Honda's house, but like,
it just it didn't.
What's the most effective weapon against a Predator drone?
Shotgun.
A Predator drone? You can't hit a goddamn Predator drone with a shotgun.
You could probably hit it with a 50 BMG.
Those fucking things fly too goddamn high.
They're like 2 miles in the air.
Okay, what's the most effective weapon against like a household drone? Shotgun. Yes.
Shotgun. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. No, literally. Okay, let me tell you something.
My research, because I've had 2 of them, apparently it's a shoelace.
You just throw a bunch of
that
shoelaces
fucks
at
them
them.
all up, man.
Let me tell you something.
Or anything that can get tangled up fucks them up, man. Hardcore.
Yep.
When I worked for the department, we had orders to report any and all drone activity, and they could give us permission to shoot it down because a lot of the guys that were incarcerated had drug connections on this.
Oh, he just got shut
on
up.
The side of the yard, like maybe with a hand.
AI is taking him out, man.
Yeah.
He's giving
the
away.
drones are after you, bro.
He's giving away secrets, and they are fucking him over.
You're like,
man.
nope, gotta shut this motherfucker down.
My bad. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called the NSA.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Talking about their drones and shit, and they were like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think
no,
so.
But we had, like, if a drone came in, we reported it, and like the assistant warden or the duty warden could give us permission to shoot it down.
I kept expecting your voice to cut out again.
I did too. Dan?
There is no Dan, only Zool.
Dan? We lost him again. We lost him. Fuck,
He
I don't
said
know what's
too much.
going on.
He said too much.
He said they shut him down. They shut him off. He's gone.
Speaking of Zool, one of my favorite lines in Ghostbusters Afterlife is when that cop asks that little girl, "Who you gonna call?"
Did she say Zool?
No, but she called Ray's Cult Shop. So
I didn't watch the new. I did not watch the new fucking Ghostbusters. I heard too many things about it that made me not even want to watch it.
Not the wooden one, right?
Afterlife is a good movie.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was a good movie. Yeah.
I keep getting this message that says the host has muted your mic.
What? What was that, Dan?
Well, then shut up.
I can't hear you, Dan. Dan? Dan, are you there? Dan? Hello? What?
Fuck the lot of you. Seriously. Like, seriously, all of you.
Oh, I muted him.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. Right. That wasn't you. Right. No, that wasn't me.
Time was not me.
Uh-huh. Sure.
It wasn't me because I can't.
Yeah, I know. It probably wasn't Tim. Tim would just yell at me. Yeah, Tim would just yell at me. He wouldn't like mute me. He'd just be like, ah!
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well, gee.
It was me. I did it.
Yeah.
All these fucking security guards who can get paid to be on a chat. It's crazy.
I'm not even on duty right now.
Everybody who we know who's a security guard has, on many occasions, or a cop, just fucking like, oh, I'm on duty.
Yeah, I've been paying for this whole 4-hour chat, just sitting here.
Sit there for fucking hours. It's like, God.
Hey, don't hate, congratulate.
Like, thank you for your service, Jesus Christ.
Right. No, I'm off duty right now. I'm drinking alcoholic beverages right now. Just saying. That's why I'm acting like.
What is that? Squash?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that squash
good,
that I've harvested from my garden already. I'm about to fry that bitch up.
Squash. Oh, you're gonna fried squash. God damn, that's good.
Oh,
yeah,
not a big
about to fry.
Not a big squash fan, but I'd eat that if it was grilled and barbecued. Yeah.
Yeah, I love squash.
Got steaks cooking on the grill.
How do you not love
Corey.
squash growing up in Texas, dude?
I just never was a big fan of squash, but as an adult, my palate has changed. As a kid, you're kind of spoiled, whatever like that. You want to eat, meat potatoes or whatever. But but as an adult, I eat a lot more vegetables and stuff like that. I'm a little bit more, I guess, open to trying different types of foods. Yeah.
Squash and okra are two southern staples.
What's your favorite kind of squash? Is it like butternut or spaghetti squash?
Yellow
Dude,
squash.
Spaghetti squash is so fucking good.
I've had spaghetti squash. It was good.
I
love fried
yellow
eggplant
squash
too.
and okra.
You ever had fried eggplants?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I fucking love it.
Eggplant,
fried green tomatoes.
Parmigiani.
See, that's what we do in the South. We take the vegetables and we fry them. We batter dip them and fry them, and they're delicious. Who'd have thought? Like, what the fuck?
You just got to start staying away from those people.
Eat their vegetables, just fry it up for them. Batter, dip it, and fry it. You're good to go, man.
Who would have known that frying things in lard was better for you?
Yeah, it is. Way better for you.
Yeah.
Better for you. Yeah, I suppose if you're using. Yeah, if you're actually using like beef tallow or something like that, yeah, absolutely.
Anything. I mean,
then vegetable oil,
fucking anything, any natural animal fat is way healthier for you to fry in than any of the fucking oils that you can fry shit in.
Right. Yeah, I've maintained that like soy and canola oil, the only thing that those things are good for is creating animal feed, like out of the canola cakes and the soy cakes that are left over, and fuel. That's it. It's not for human consumption at all. Never, you make biodiesel out of it. That's all you do. Yeah.
I think that it used to be until GMOs got their hands on it.
Maybe.
Like people used to eat soy for millions of years. Like tofu, like made how many fucking Asian people were raised on tofu?
I mean, look at soy sauce. Like it's been made for generations.
But now they get and they fucking put their DNA shit into it. And you got Monsanto doing the same thing with corn and with canola and with all of these different things. And like I don't think it's not a good idea. And I think that if people could go back in time, they would have undone it.
Soy sauce is a topping, though. It's not supposed to be the main entree. It's not like you're eating a soy patty. It's like it's a sauce. It's like ketchup or something like that.
It's not like ketchup.
No.
Well, it's a topping.
You're talking about soy sauce?
Yes.
Okay, it's a very different thing, but okay. Okay.
Have you ever had mushroom?
And yeah, Charlie's right. Olive oil is good, but you can't really fry an olive oil. It's got too low of a smoke point.
Yeah.
You can't.
Right.
You can fry in avocado oil though, because it's got a really high smoke point.
Yes, you can. You can take the heat.
The problem with avocado oil is it's incredibly fucking expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh god, it makes olive oil look cheap.
You can buy.
Oh yeah, avocado oil also has a similar viscosity and density to animal tallow.
Yeah.
So
I like using avocado oil for stuff. I use it sparingly because it's pound for pound, it's the most expensive oil you can buy, and it's great, and it has like no flavor, and it works really well in foods and stuff, but it's just expensive. So it'd be great to have a vat of that shit to fry stuff up in. But
right.
Yeah, no shit. You know how you can get those big ass things of peanut oil, but just get that and avocado oil.
Yeah.
Like Bill Gates. If like Bill Gates or Soros is eating fried chicken, what kind of oil do they use? That's the kind of oil, like truffle oil or something.
Well,
they use pure estrogen.
They're probably using avocado oil because they're all like vegans and shit. So they're not going to use like fucking beef tallow or anything like that.
Truffle oil is way more expensive than avocado oil.
Olive oil or not olive oil, canola oil or corn oil or fucking vegetable oil or any of that shit. They know better than that. They're not stupid. They're the ones growing it, trying to foist it on the rest of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Truffle oil. That's what they're frying it in.
Truffle oil.
I love truffle oil. I actually made a while back some cauliflower mashed potatoes with truffle oil in it.
Well, where's your? I can't see your pinky, Corey.
Truffle
oil. It should be
just talking about it. Just talking about it. His pinky just drifts right into the air. Just talking about it. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. What's truffle? Corey. What's truffle?
Here we go. Truffle oil.
Hey, Honda, can you do the truffle shuffle? I can.
I'm not big enough to.
Calhoun Republic said to Never Enough Ammo, in my area, fried okra is sometimes offered as an alternative to French fries. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Fried okra is fucking delicious.
Yes.
Fried's good.
Like okra. I'm sorry. I'm northern. Okra's never a thing up here. And every time I've had it, I'm like, nah.
No, fried okra is so good.
Quite a bit of okra starting to pop up on my plants up there.
Okra's good. Good stuff. And that's an example of how my palate has kind of matured. As a kid, I didn't like any kind of green vegetable thing. As an adult, I'm like, fuck yeah, give it to me. Brussels sprouts, fucking lima beans, I'll take it. Whatever.
I grew up, so my grandmother, who is very fucking like gypsy, was very gypsy, right? Like she had all the old school recipes and shit from her family because she was second generation American and they all came from fucking, I don't know where the fuck they came from.
Slovakia.
Something like they were all they were a bunch of fucking gypsy Slavs, right? That was my family. And so like growing up, they like one thing big growing up in my house was beets. Like my grandmother always had fucking beets around. She was making beets. Everything was made out of fucking beets. It was beets. But like vegetables are a big part of all that shit, all the stews and all this, you know what I mean? Just like everything that gets together, there's veggies and fucking everything. So I grew up on vegetables. And then, you know, coming down here, my grandmother kind of, you know, bought into the, you know, because I think she moved down here before my mother was born. But she was originally from Michigan because that's where her family immigrated to. They went straight from fucking bumfuck whatever Eastern Europe to Michigan, and then she moved down here before, you know, she got married. And then she kind of, so she had this weird way of cooking where you never knew if you were going to get some like old world fucking stew or fried okra. You know what I mean? It was a weird mix of like shit that would get cooked in the house. And I loved all of it. It was fucking great, you know? So, it was a weird mix between Eastern European food and fucking Southern comfort food.
I wish I could make food like both of my grandmothers on both sides. Mother, like my mom's mom and my dad's mom. Both of them could just make the most amazing, and it wouldn't even matter what it is. Like they make turkey, it's better than the turkey I can make. They make cookies, they're better than the cookies I can make. Like I don't know what the fuck they did. They had some like magic grandma touch.
Yeah, that's how my grandma
cooking with love.
Like I don't know how to fuck. Like I'll be like following recipes, and it's like, well, it's not the same. What the shit? Like I did the exact same thing. How the fuck did that happen? I don't know. Weird times, man. Anyway, Magnum out there in the chat says, Matt, how are you enjoying the Last of Us TV show? Well, that show's been over for like 2 months, but I liked it. It was a good show. There was a couple episodes that weren't great. There was one that sucked. There was one episode that sucked, and then there was a couple that were okay, but most of it was actually pretty good. Overall, I liked the show. Overall,
are you looking forward to 2?
I'm looking forward to season 2. Yeah.
Yep, same here.
But there you go.
When are you quitting?
Yeah,
vaping?
What?
When are you going to stop vaping?
When I fucking feel like it. I don't know. Whenever the hell that is. I don't
pay the man $1 million and he'll quit.
Me first.
Oh shit. Let's see.
What would you do with $1 million?
What would I do with $1 million? First, I'd go buy some land somewhere and start building a fucking house.
Yeah, we built the Unicron community that we were talking about the other day.
Yeah,
he's gonna go buy a USS Flag.
So, what? Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'd buy some land, build up a nice little house, make sure that everybody in the house has vehicles, and we're set, right? You know what I mean? Like everything's paid for and set, and yeah, you got to pay taxes on land and shit like that. But like, I would set myself up to where there was like, you know, everything was there, and there's this little, you know, you can live as well as possible and don't have to worry about paying rent or mortgage or that kind of shit or car payment or any of that stuff, and you have the basics you need, and yeah, that's what I would fucking do.
Right.
What happened to Pedro Pascal?
What do you mean? What happened to him?
He's still.
He got paid.
He's like
Tactical Hatchet Wound says, "Poor Pedro Pascal. We'll see if the show doesn't fall off without him."
Okay, I don't know what that means. I haven't heard of anything happening to Pedro Pascal.
Are they talking about?
Maybe he got cut. Yeah, maybe he got cut from The Last of Us because I mean he does. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Spoiler alert, he does.
He's not in the second game very much.
Right, exactly right. Well, he's in it briefly. Let's put it that way. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know he dies, so I mean, I know the character dies, but yeah.
I thought we were talking about Mandalorian, and then he got in like a car accident and had
I'm like, I don't think
that's what I'm thinking too. Sure. I think Mandalorian, not Last of Us.
I'm pretty sure he's doing great. Like right now, he's one of the hottest people in Hollywood as far as like, you know what I mean? Like he's doing pretty fucking good. He's on
He's on 2 action series where he's like snapping necks and cashing checks, man. Seriously.
Yeah. And he's still in movies and stuff, and like he's doing pretty well for himself right now.
Now that is slightly off topic, but I want to get your opinion. Do you think the Kang Dynasty is just not going to happen because of the drama happening with
no,
what's his noodle?
They'll just replace him. They'll replace him with another actor. They're not going to dump all that they've been building to this for several movies. So they're not going to dump it all. They're just going to replace the actor. They'll get somebody else to come in and play Kang, which they can do.
Wakanda for never mind.
I mean, fuck it. What? It's just an actor. Who gives a shit? Just find somebody else. I don't give a shit about
Wakanda forever.
You know what I mean? Like, do you really give a shit about that dude? I can't even remember his name off the top of my fucking head.
I
don't give a shit.
I just watched the movie Wednesday. I couldn't tell you who he was.
Yeah. So who gives a fuck? Just get somebody else. There should be no issues here. You know.
The more I look at this super chat, the more I want Adam Jimenez to be here right now.
Who even is that? That's going over my head. I don't even know who that is.
Before your time.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Adam Jimmy Knees.
Jimmy Knees? Okay.
Jimmy Knees.
Jimmy Knees.
Jimmy
Not
Knees.
Jimenez. Jimmy Knees.
Yeah, Adam Jimmy Knees.
Yes, that's the nickname he picked up along the way.
That and Taco Boy. We also call him Taco.
Yeah.
By the way, that was not a racist thing. It's literally because his icon was a taco.
With the taco.
With a gun.
It had nothing to do with him being Hispanic. His icon on every chat was a fucking taco.
Yeah, where has Adam been?
He kind of brought that on himself. I'm just saying.
Right.
Like,
I knew an Italian guy whose icon was a big plate of spaghetti, and it is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, that was kind of before you started coming on the chats. He used to be a regular. So. But anyway, where were we at? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. Oh, so I got to talk about this. Even though Duke's not here, so fuck him. He texted me. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. They called me into work." And fuck you and your work and your job. Go fuck yourself.
I know, right? What an asshole.
Your family don't got
an
email.
asshole. But they dropped a new trailer sometime this week. I don't remember when, for the new Dead City, which is the new Walking Dead thing.
They dropped a
and while I have very little faith in Walking Dead anymore, the trailer was fucking great. Like, it was a really good trailer. I'm sure they put all the best scenes in the fucking trailer. So, you know, we probably saw everything good in that fucking 2.5-minute trailer. That's probably all the good that's in the whole fucking series. But
you'll still be there every Sunday.
I'll still watch every goddamn episode of it because I am 12 years into this franchise. I'm not gonna just not watch it now. So I'm gonna keep watching the shows until they stop fucking making them. But the trailer was actually really fucking good. I liked it quite a bit. I mean, you know, it did its job in that it makes the show look like it's going to be good. I don't know if the show's going to actually be good, but you know, the trailer was good.
I'll bet you money, Matt, that it's not. $20?
Oh, I'm not going to take that bet because it probably won't. I'm not stupid. You know, I mean, I guess I am because I keep watching these fucking shows, but you know, I'm not going to take a bet fucking where I'm going to lose $20. Fuck no. Yeah, no, no. I mean, the trailer was really good. You know, if you're a fucking fan of whatever the show, like, yeah, go watch the trailer. It looked good. But that came out. The other show that the other movie is a documentary that I watched this week. I didn't watch a lot. I finished off Rescue Me, which is like fucking fantastic show. And I just finished that Thursday night. So I really haven't watched much else this week to really talk about on this show. But I did watch this documentary called Attack the Doc. And I don't know if anybody else in here, I may be the only one. I have no idea. Anybody else in here watch G4 TV or Attack of the Show?
I know.
I used to a long time ago.
Yeah. So this was, you gotta remember, like, so this was this was a network, and specifically Attack of the Show, which was like their flagship show, right? That came on 5 days a week. This network and this show started before YouTube was a thing, right? And Attack of the Show, for those that don't know, nowadays with Marvel movies and everything else being what it is, and everybody in the world's heard of Comic-Con, for instance, right?
Right.
Attack of the Show was one of these was like the first media outlet to ever cover Comic-Con, and this was before the Iron Man movie came out and comic book movies blew up, right? So this was like fucking Geek Central, the network. Now it was mostly most of the channel was based around video games. But Attack of the Show was kind of just a geek culture show. Came on an hour every day. My time came on 6 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday. And then when Comic-Con was happening or E3 was happening or whatever big kind of geek event might have been happening that had to do with movies, TV, video games, anything like that, they would cover that. Like that weekend, they would do 24 hours of coverage, and you could watch the channel G4 TV and just fucking see them covering all the new movies or all the new video games or whatever the fuck it was they were covering.
Matt, was that did they have some hot ass chick with a tank top be like, and this is the new video game that came out today, blah 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 blah.
They had many.
Yeah, it wasn't just one, yes, but yes.
Yeah,
okay, I do remember this show.
Yeah, because there was.
Right, that's the only thing I remember about it is damn, I'd fuck that shit.
Yeah, the main chick on Attack of the Show for many, many years was Olivia Munn, who has since gone on to be a real actress. She left the show actually 4 years or 5 years before they ended the network, and went on to she was in one of the X-Men movies, and she's been in a bunch of shit.
She was Psylocke. She's been in a bunch of different things.
She's been in a bunch of shit, yeah.
Oh,
and she got her start on Attack of the Show. That's literally the first thing she did. Before that, she was she wasn't a film major, but she was doing communications or something at University of Oklahoma, I think in Tulsa. That's where she's fucking from. And her first job, her first job was getting co-host on Attack of the Show in 2003, 2004. I can't remember exactly when it was. Anyway, she was on that show for fucking 8 years before she went off and fucking started doing movies and shit. Anyway, so I will say this, and I do not say this with any hesitation. I will say this right now, and I will say this without any doubt in my mind whatsoever. And you can say it doesn't make any sense. I don't care. Attack of the Show was, for me, the best television show in the history of television. I liked it better than Star Trek. I liked it better than Battlestar Galactica. I liked it better than Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, early Walking Dead. Pick any show that I've talked about how I love these shows so much. I enjoyed Attack of the Show more than any other television show ever. I looked forward to coming home and watching it every day after work. I would once technology had moved up, in 2008, whatever, and I got my first DVR with fucking Time Warner cable. I would fucking record it every day so I could skip through the fucking commercials after I got home from work. I literally watched this show 5 days a week. On the weekends, when they would do Comic-Con coverage or E3 coverage, I would sit there all day from the moment I woke up with the fucking TV on G4 TV watching this shit. Attack of the Show was my favorite television show of all time. Now, I know it wasn't a scripted show or anything like that, so it's kind of hard to compare it to the other stuff that I love that's on television, the other shows. But it was without a doubt the one show I looked forward to more than any other television show ever. Ever. That was fucking great. For 10 years while that show was on, that was my favorite show. Anyway, they did a documentary it was kind of on G4 TV as a network, but it was mostly on Attack of the Show as a fucking thing. It was actually produced by, I don't know if anybody knows who Chris Gore is. Jolly, you probably know who Chris Gore is.
Let me Google him.
He's big. He's like a film school fucking dude who went on. He's one of the big film reviewers on the internet, all that shit.
Oh, yes. I know
yeah.
Chris Gore.
You know who Chris Gore is. He actually got his start and got famous for being the movie review guy on Attack of the Show. That's where he started. So he actually produced this documentary. It's his documentary. Just came out like this last week. So I wanted to talk about it because it was fucking great. As somebody who was a huge fan of the show and loved G4 TV and thought Attack of the Show was better than anything we've gotten since, as far as like most of that type of entertainment has migrated to like YouTube since then. You know what I mean? Because now you can find shows on YouTube and people doing videos on every fucking thing and all that kind of stuff. And this all predated that. And so even like they tried for a couple years to bring back G4 TV as a YouTube channel and it failed miserably. Nobody gave a shit. I mean, some people did, but in general, nobody did. Mostly because like none of the original people that were a part of G4 TV, like they would all occasionally show up, you know, but like all the hosts and all the people, like they showed up like in mass that first week when they launched the G4 TV YouTube page. But then you found out quickly that's like, oh, they're not going to be the regular hosts of all these shows you used to love. Now we're bringing all these new people, and half of them were a bunch of woke little fucking cunts. And so in less than 2 years, I think it was in about 18 months, the G4 TV YouTube channel got shut the fuck down. They stopped doing it because they were trying to bring back all the shows from G4 TV, including Attack of the Show, and it sucked. I watched it a couple of times. It was horrible. It was not good anymore. Anyway, but the documentary, if you liked that shit, if you were a part of geek culture, you know, back in the 2000s, going into the early 2010s, you inevitably knew about G4 TV or Attack of the Show or all that shit. And if you enjoyed that shit, which everybody who was into geek shit at the time did, this is definitely a documentary you should watch. It's a lot of fun. You know, they bring back a lot of the people from the show and do interviews with them and shit. They cover a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that was happening. It was actually really good. Really fucking good. I enjoyed it quite immensely. Jolly, it's something you should watch because you're too young to know Attack of the Show.
No,
yeah,
the only reason I knew G4 TV
had you been older when Attack of the Show was on and G4 TV was a thing, I feel like you would be right there with me in understanding why G4 TV and specifically Attack of the Show was so fucking great. I think you would. I think even though you didn't watch it like I did, I think you would like the documentary.
Dude, who is Prison Wallet carrying their phone while they're on this chat right now? Is my question.
I don't know, but I'm hearing lots of anal noises.
Yes,
anal noises. I was.
Anal noise. Like, I can hear somebody's colon right now.
It's like fucking nails on a chalkboard sound kind of thing going on. I don't know.
Oh, that was me. I was sorry. I was clearing a weapon. Sorry about that.
You don't, first of all, we don't need to know what you call your asshole. Okay? And if you really think it's a weapon, then you probably need to go to the doctor.
He's clearing his penis.
So
right.
Whatever that means.
My bad.
He's clearing it out for activities later.
Uncalled for. Uncalled for. Okay?
This is a family-friendly program.
No. So anyway, before I get to that, I was going to say something. Anyway, but no, Jolly, I'm gonna ask that you go watch that documentary.
If it's not an anime, Jolly doesn't like it.
What was the name of it again?
It's called Attack. It's just look Chris Gore, Attack the Doc.
Attack the Doc. Okay.
Yes, or Attack of the Doc, or something like that. I don't know if it's Attack the Doc or Attack of the Doc. It's one of those. Anyway. Lele says From is getting good. They need to drop the rest of the season now. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it once all the episodes drop. I want to see season 2. I just like I said, I decided I was going to binge watch it. I don't want to watch it week to week. So
the fuck is From?
It's a kind of a horror mystery show. It's on its 2nd season right now.
I'm assuming that's
it's very Stephen King-ish. I mean, Stephen King has nothing to do with it, but it's very Stephen King-esque in what it is. It's basically about a bunch of people trapped in a town in the middle of nowhere. They don't know where the fuck they are, and if you happen to drive into this town, like you're stuck there. Once you go into this town, you can't get out, and nobody knows where the town actually is because all the people like in the town came from different places. Like some people were driving around in the middle of Florida, and some people were in Arizona, but yet they all somehow ended up in this fucking town. And then there's creatures in this town that come out at night and kill fucking people. And anyway, it's a horror show. It's actually really good. I like it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that sounds.
So first season is out. Second season is, I think, about halfway through at this point. But what it is it's a really good show, but it's like a constant mystery of what the fuck is going on and where are they and all this shit. And so I got lucky enough to binge watch the first season. I didn't watch it when it first came out. And so now I'm kind of impatient, especially because there's a lot of mystery in each episode that I don't want to fucking wait week to week to week to find out what the fuck's going on. I want to fucking binge watch an entire season. So I decided I'm gonna not binge. I'm not gonna watch season 2 week to week. So I think we're half done with the second season. So I got a few more weeks, and then I can binge watch the whole thing all at once. So, but yeah, it's a good show.
Okay. 500 Magnum says guy with Dachshund dog picture. I'm assuming he means my dachshund, which means it's me. He's asking, what's my favorite thriller?
Michael Jackson.
If I'm going to go from
I also was going to say Michael Jackson.
Murder, mystery, thriller, whatever, that would probably have to go all the way back to Alfred Hitchcock with like The Birds or...
you know what my favorite?
Psycho,
I was going to suggest
Bates Motel. I went blank there for a minute. I was like Bates Motel and what's his face? Yeah, Psycho.
Psycho.
When I think of like a thriller, it's not necessarily something that has to be scary, but like it's that you're kind of on the edge of your seat, wondering what the fuck's going to happen next, and there's kind of a mystery and what the fuck's going on, and maybe there's a horror aspect to it, but maybe not. When I think of thriller, the first movie I think of is that movie, The Game, from I think the late '90s with Michael Douglas, where
yeah, that's a good one too.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody that's never seen it.
No, that's a great movie. That is a great movie.
Yeah, it's like, but basically,
at this point we can spoil away.
Well, I know, but it's still a really good movie, and it wasn't like a big hit.
It is.
So there's probably a lot of people that haven't seen it, but I mean, essentially, like. It's about a rich dude who gets caught up in this fucking conspiracy sort of thing, and people are chasing him. And I don't want to give shit away.
And there's a twist at the end.
And there's a twist at the end, and it's like it's a thriller. You know, he's trying to figure out. You're with the character trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and it's a really good movie. I like that one a lot.
What was the movie with the people in the car and like? They had a CB radio and they started talking to the truck driver and they were like
Joyride.
Joyride. Yeah, Candy Cane. Joyride. Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good thriller.
Yeah. Didn't that have Paul Walker in it? Wasn't he one of the dudes?
Yeah, that was Paul Walker. Yeah.
And
Paul Walker. Steve Zahn and Lily Sobieski.
Yeah. Cal Republic says, what's the name of that movie again? It's called The Game. The Game with.
It is a very good movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Highly recommend that movie. Joyride's a great movie. I think they tried to do like a Joyride 2, and I think I watched it and it sucked.
Yeah, I think they made up to 4.
I think so too, because the first one was good.
Right.
Yeah. I think I tried to watch the second one, or I might have even gotten through the whole thing. I don't remember, and I just remember thinking it sucked. So, 500 Magnum's got a great question. Jolly, what's your favorite action franchise, like action movies? Jolly, are you even fucking there? No,
the young whippersnapper fell out.
My favorite action movie franchise, I would have to say Marvel movies. Those are all action movies. And there's fucking 26 of them, and most of them are pretty goddamn good. Like, there's a few that aren't good, but most of them are pretty goddamn good. I don't know if everybody considers those quote-unquote action movies or if they're like a separate genre of comic book movies or not.
Would you consider Terminator action movies?
I would consider the first 2 action movies.
Right.
Definitely.
Because anytime a Terminator movie comes out, I will watch it. I don't care.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I'd say overall,
Yeah, they're kind of a sci-fi action, but
sci-fi action movies. But yeah,
maybe
I would
horror.
I would definitely consider at least the first two action movies. The third one, not so much. The fourth one, Terminator Salvation, is a little more sci-fi than action. And then Genesis is a clusterfuck of shit. I don't even know what that movie is considered.
Right, and even though that was such a clusterfuck and it sucked, I will still go and watch the next one.
Oh yeah, no, I look, yeah. I actually like Genesis, but I can totally fucking see why some people didn't. Like, it's a clusterfuck of fucking
me too.
Shit. Like, if you don't pay attention to that movie, you don't know what the fuck is going on, because I mean, you're time traveling all over the place, and now this person went back in time before they used to go back in time, because before they went to this point, now they've gone back to this point, but that person died, but now they're alive because somebody went further back in time, and then they went to the future, but then they went back to the 90s instead of the 80s where they meant to go, and then they go back to the future, and now John Connor's a fucking cyborg, fucking Skynet dude or some shit. Like, if you don't pay attention to what the fuck's going on in that movie, you're gonna be lost. Like,
if you look at the big three, if you look at Aliens, the Alien franchise, the Terminator franchise, and the Predator franchise, anything past part 2 is like, that's where you start to lose me. Like,
it had Khaleesi in it, though, Matt. It had the fucking Khaleesi.
It did have Khaleesi in it,
and you almost got to see her naked.
Did you? I don't know.
And
I'll be honest. Like, that chick, I mean, I love Game of Thrones, and I think she's great in Game of Thrones, and
you don't think she's hot?
I've seen her in a couple other things. I don't particularly think she's hot. I consider her what I classify as cute. She's cute.
Right. You
know what I mean?
Check it out, guys.
She's a cute female. I don't consider her hot. So
what's her name?
Got there, Corey?
Emily Clark.
Amelia Clark. There you go. Yeah, I blanked for a second there. Yeah, I think she's a very cute girl.
That's some good looking food you got there, Corey.
That is delicious. I got to click on this. That looks delicious. Look at that squash, mashed potato. Is that mashed potatoes, right?
Is that fried squash?
Potato.
Oh, it's a baked potato.
Fried squash, baked potato, New York strip steak.
Oh, my God.
Very
God.
Nice.
Fried squash. Now, I could dig on some fried squash. I'm telling you, man.
That looks fucking delicious, Corey.
Right.
Good job, sir. When are you going to make me dinner? I need Corey to make me dinner.
I was looking at Amelia Clark. Put the dinner back on the screen.
Do what?
I was looking at Amelia Clark. Put the dinner back on the screen, please.
No, you missed it. No, too late. Too late. You should have been paying attention.
I don't get to see it. All right, fine.
No, you don't. You missed it.
Honda, cover me. I got to take a piss like a mother. I've had to piss for like 45 minutes. I can't hold it no more.
So you've had to piss for since an hour into the chat now? Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just do like the trucker thing and just get a bottle and
go in a Gatorade bottle.
The camera's only pointing from the waist up, so as long as it doesn't make a noise, you're fine. That'd be kind of awkward, though. I mean, you could just turn off your fucking camera for a minute and mute yourself, and no one would even fucking know.
Yeah.
But then I would imagine there'd be like all these pee bottles all around Never Enough Ammo's desk because he would forget to clean them up later.
Kind of like in 10 Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead.
I was thinking more like Night Strike's desk, but whatever.
Oh. Well, there was that guy, Critical Bill, in I think it was 10 Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, where he was like hiding out from the mafia, and he was like peeing in bottles everywhere or something like that. Like, I don't go anywhere.
She showed her boobs in 300. Wait a minute.
Who did?
Wait a fucking minute. Hold on.
Who showed her boobs in 300? There wasn't any nudity in 300 that I know of.
Amelia, whatever the fuck her name is, Clark.
She wasn't in 300.
You can see her naked in Game of Thrones.
She wasn't even in 300. Unless she was the Oracle.
She was naked.
Was she the Oracle?
Oh my God, I'm on a quest.
When she comes out of the fire with the dragon baby, she's completely naked in Game of Thrones. So, and she's naked and she's topless in it before that.
Yeah, she's naked in the beginning when her brother's filling her up and shit to sell her to Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay, I found it. All right, that's what I needed. Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
So.
Woo! Woo! I feel better.
Unless she played the Oracle in 300, then she wasn't. I mean,
I don't remember her in 300 either.
Yeah, unless she was the Oracle, because there was a scene when the E4s were consulting the Oracle, and she was like kind of moving all crazy, and her hair was going all crazy. Unless that was Emilia Clarke, I don't think
that
was.
wasn't her. No, that wasn't.
I was going to say that didn't look like her really at all. Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Somebody said Emilia Clarke appeared naked in 300, and I was like, that was one of my favorite movies. That was one of those movies that I used to watch for like a year because
Clarke was like fucking 12 when 300 came out. 300 came out in what, 2003, 2004?
No, 2008.
2007.
Oh, 2008?
2007.
So
2007,
she was, I believe Emilia Clarke was 21 when Game of Thrones started in 2011. Right? No. Game of Thrones was 2012 or no, was it 12? 12. I think it's 2012. I think she was like 20 or 21 when that show started, which means in 2008 she was like fucking 16 or 17.
Right, yeah. There's no way. Yeah. I do know that they used an unnamed actress model person to play the Oracle. And interestingly enough, little tidbit nerd movie scene, when the Oracle was, doing her prophecy thing, they actually filmed her underwater so that her hair would look all like completely like wild and stuff, like it was flying through the air. They actually that little 10-second thing, they filmed her underwater.
It's the gayest tidbit I've ever heard. I'm just kidding.
You shut up.
I'll film you underwater.
I'll film your face underwater.
Action movies.
Yeah.
To me, action movies are like, the Rambo movies and Commando and
non-sci-fi,
good action movie like that. I mean, I guess John Wick counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, John Wick's a good, maybe Rambo.
It's kind of an action movie, it's
the Rambo Last Blood with the cartels in it and stuff like that. That was an action flick.
Yeah.
I still hold that the original John Wick was the best of them because of the simplicity, and that's what a lot of these movies
the original one is
fucking do.
Yeah, the original one is still the best. I will say the newest one, though. I do think the newest one is better than 2 and 3. I would put the newest one yet. Best one. The newest one was pretty goddamn good. I like it a lot.
I still have not seen 4 either.
Well. Look who decided to go the fuck up.
Well, I'm on my way to work, motherfucker.
Hey,
I'm
dude.
trying my best.
Hey.
Who is?
Oh, never mind.
Jolly.
Never mind.
Not Jolly.
What's going on, Dookie Duke?
Dude, I was about to tell you to change your profile because I thought it was your family. Then I realized it was Sopranos.
Fucking Duke. Showing up late like a motherfucker.
Duke, are you conscious? That's the question.
He's fucking driving is what he is. I can hear his car.
I'm on my way to work. I'm on my way to work. Can't hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
I said I'm on my way to work.
Are there any strange disembodied... Yeah, I can hear you. Are there any strange disembodied lights following you there, Duke?
You're coming in broken. I'm going to work, baby.
You're coming in broken.
What the fuck are you doing going to work on a Saturday night?
Yeah, no shit.
Trying to make that money. That's what he's trying to do. What do you mean, what are you trying to do? What are you doing going to work? I'm trying to make money.
He's on that grind.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this squash is fucking amazing.
I bet it is. It looks fucking delicious.
It looks really good.
Looks amazing.
I know it did. That entire dish looked really good.
I forgot about this. Look, there's my pinky.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Hold on.
I got my pinky up.
No,
look at that squash. Look at that fried squash.
Yeah, fried squash, man. It looks good.
That is yummy right there. It's all yummy looking.
That looks fucking great.
That's
that looks like a full belly and a good night's sleep to me is what that looks like.
All I've had to eat today, so I went to the movies and I got some movie nachos. Mm-hmm. And that was like enough to like not make me hungry by the time we got home.
Right.
But like we had some donuts, so I ate like a donut. So all I've had today is movie nachos and a donut. Completely unhealthy shit. I've not had real food today at all.
All I've had today is some Ruffles with sour cream and onion dip and
Look how
4
perfectly
olives.
cooked that steak is.
That looks delicious, son.
That looks really good. Yeah.
I had steak fajitas for dinner, and they were delicious.
I'm gonna have to get
I'm
something
jealous.
to eat.
No, I'm not showing you. Fuck
I
off.
am fucking hungry, and Corey is not helping there.
You're welcome. I love you, brother.
Yeah. Fucking A. Fucking A, man. Fucking A.
What does the A stand for?
I don't know. I've been
Awesome.
saying that since I was like fucking 12, and I don't know what.
Awesome. Yeah. If
I
something's
don't
fucking
really care where it came from. It's just been around forever.
Because you don't use it. Well, you don't use it like awesome. You don't use it in replacement of awesome, right? You're using it in replacement of fuck yeah, let's do it. Basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well,
right. Fucking A. Like somebody will say something like, "Hey, let's go fucking get drunk tonight." Fucking A. Like that's how I use it.
Maybe
well, I mean, like when you think about it, it's like fuck.
A stands for.
When you think about it, it's like that's a fucking awesome idea.
Maybe that's.
But
what
then you
it
can
is. I
also
don't
say
know.
it when you're angry about something.
No. You say it when you agree with something.
Yeah, it's when you agree with something. When someone's like, "Hey, man, that's a piece of shit right there. It fucking ain't right, man."
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Giggity.
And it's like when you think about like when Ripley was like, I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. And Bill Paxton was like, fucking A. Like, hell yeah. You know, that's
Now,
a fucking
question.
awesome idea. Right.
Maybe it's just a Canadian term that we co-opted.
Oh man, that new season is fucking amazing.
Like fucking EH. Like fucking A.
Like A.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we just
fucking A, you know.
so it became A.
That's more Minnesota. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's Canadian. No, like Minnesota's like, don't you know? They say,
Don't
oh,
you
this
know?
place is turning into a gee golly madhouse. I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit, don't you know?
Yeah, see, you're throwing some fucking Boston in there too.
Yeah,
though.
that's Irish.
Yeah.
You be quiet.
What's this hoser talking about over here?
Fucking hosers.
Yeah.
Goddamn
Hosers. Yeah. This place is turning into a gee golly madhouse, don't you know? That's like Irish, like northern Minnesota, Irish Canadian.
Golly madhouse? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some weird shit.
Who the fuck has ever said that?
Like that was like Howie Mandel's. Do you remember Bobby's World? Bobby's World. Howie Mandel. Yeah, his mother used to say that. This place is turning into a gee golly madhouse, don't you know? Yeah.
Oh, I'm too old for Bobby's World. Like I remember it, but it came on when I was too old to watch it.
Yeah.
So.
Gee golly madhouse up in here.
Yeah.
Don't you know? You're younger than us then, but Dan. So you're young. You're what?
No, he's older.
I'm older than you are, Matt. Like Tim is the only guy that's older than me up in here. I'm 46, my dude.
You're so old. You forget how old people are, Matt.
Why did I think Dan was younger than us? Who am I mixing him up with? Fuck, I don't know. For some reason I thought you were like in your 30s.
No, hell no. I'm older than you are, my friend. Seriously, that's why I was like, it goes from God to Tim to me as far as age is concerned. You know?
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, yeah, Tim.
Here's the thing: if you're 46, I'm going to be right there with you in about 3 weeks. So
I know, and I consider us to be about the same age because, like, we grew up, you know, with the same stuff, like in the '80s, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't make that big of a distinction. That's why I was like,
I like coming here.
Tim has the moral authority to check me on just about anything.
So what we've come to is that me and Dan and Honda are all definitely Gen X, and Corey is millennial.
Shut the fuck up! I'm Gen X, bitch.
Corey has an attitude. Corey has a Gen X attitude, but a millennial body.
I don't know. There's some charts that say that I'm Gen X, and there's some that say that I'm a millennial. Every single one of them says that you're a millennial, Corey. I'm sorry.
No. Now they do. They used to not.
The way I see it, it's like it's separated by like 40s, 50s, and then you got your 30s. You know what I mean? That's just that. I mean, that's a lot simpler. You know, your 40-somethings are going to be like, meh, grumpy. I remember back when Ronald Reagan was president, kind of, you know, I'm just saying. And then like guys like Tim are like kind of sitting and floating above us going, you guys are all stupid and dumb.
Yeah.
You know,
pretty much. Yeah.
I was alive when Reagan was president.
And then I look down upon Jolly going like, Jolly, look, I'm your elder. If you're going to come at me, you better come correct. You know what I mean? So,
Hey, I am what they call a zillennial.
I know the Gen Z. I know you are.
No.
My son they're the same age, and y'all are like. Although technically, I heard it was anything 96 and after is considered Gen Z.
Yes, it is Gen Z. However, there's a new term going around called like zillennial, where it's like 90.
Man, these motherfuckers just be making shit up now.
We do.
I know
exactly.
So you got your 40s, your 50s,
but yeah,
your 30s, your 20s, and every generation has the authority to point its finger downward at the other ones and be like, you listen here, whippersnapper.
At least my generation doesn't eat Tide Pods.
Shit, I can remember when Jimmy Carter and Ford were president. So
right,
y'all can all shut up.
I know, and you're right. Tim is absolutely correct. Yeah.
So now wait. So Steve D has a great thing. He said, of course, it came from Scottish term "I," which means yes. Just say "I." It sounds like A to an American. Fucking I. It's the same thing as fucking A.
Hey, after all of these years, we finally have an answer. I've always wondered that.
So it means fucking yes. Which
so it is like I agree. Like literally, that means I agree.
Fucking yes. Fucking A.
Fucking A, man.
Fucking I.
Super Bad Video says Howie Mandel was the voice of Bobby and did the intro for the show.
Yep.
He also came up with the character Bobby in his stand-up before all of that even, so
yeah, Tim was there. He remembers.
Yeah, I do. I remember watching it on TV.
All right, Daniel dropped in the super chat
on early cable.
Daniel dropped in the super chat says Honda is a generation tranny if he's picking one. He gets to pick because Honda's right on the cusp. He gets to pick. So he gets to pick.
Why would anyone willingly pick fucking millennial? I mean, I guess if it's either millennial or whatever. What's after millennial? I forget.
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yeah,
Gen
if it's
Z.
millennial or Z, you're picking millennial. But
you get to pick between Gen X and millennial.
Yeah, X, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just first year Gen X, so
Corey doesn't get to choose because he's firmly in millennial camp.
No, I'm not.
Him and Duke both are firmly millennials.
No.
So.
What year were you born, Corey?
83.
Yeah, I think Corey's 83.
Oh, I just put that on my butt. I'm pretty good.
No, I think Corey's 83.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm good.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, God, my oldest son was born in 88. Or no, 89.
You're not good, youngster. Not at all.
I'm golden, baby. I'm golden.
Yeah.
No, Duke is 88 or 89. Duke is into the 80s.
Oh, God, that means Duke is like the same age as my oldest son.
Jesus.
So
Damn.
Matt's my dad. It's Duke's dad.
You're so old. You're Duke's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The older of my two sons is 33. So yeah.
Holy shit!
Wow.
He was born in
I just kind
89.
of picture you as Cotton from King of the Hill.
There you go.
Got a fat neck.
Yeah. So does your son have kids? Are you a grandpa?
Me? No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the older my son, he has cerebral palsy and other things going on. So.
But you're old enough to be a grandpa. Fuck,
definitely,
dude,
yes.
I'm old enough to be a grandpa. If my son's 23.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like he's older than I was when I had him. Like I had him at 22. So like I am old. Like if my son had done what I did, I could be a grandpa right now at 45.
All I know is my oldest son has found the clitoris.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
fantastic.
Although it's
not hard
to find. I know we've had this conversation before. It's not difficult to find. So this myth that the clit is hard to find is I don't know where this myth came from.
I don't know where it came from.
since my first time, never had any problem finding it.
Great, but that's the point. That's your first time you found it.
There's that peak at the top of the slit, and it's like just below that little peak. You know,
Okay, so let me explain it to you guys so that you can understand, because obviously you don't. You find the clit when you get pussy. If you cannot find the clit, that's what that means.
I know, but like women, you hear the myth comes from women who say guys can't ever find the clit. I'm like, what fucking guys are you dating that can't find it? Like, what the fuck are you talking? I don't know any dude who doesn't know where the clit is and didn't find it like fucking immediately. Like I don't know what dude. Like, if your guys don't like go around there, then that's on them, whatever. But don't be like they can't.
Yeah,
find
they're
it.
just stupid then if they don't want to go down there and look around and find it.
Yeah, you gotta be enthusiastic, man.
Wow.
I like, and I'm real, like, I like to see what I'm eating, you know what I mean? So I'm like looking and exploring.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like going around, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like being at
So you're
Six
still
Flags,
trying to find it, huh?
you know what I mean? Like, I'm down there, I'm like, oh wow, look at this. Oh, this one's different. Look. Nice. Let's go for a ride. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
If she's not squirming, you're not doing it right.
Like, why do you have like fucking like meat flaps going on here? Like, what is that about? Like, sometimes that can be a little much, in my opinion.
Beef curtains.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes those curtains are fucking too much.
Yeah, it's like you should be an Arby's advertisement.
Like someone's been tugging on him or something. I don't know, dude.
Right.
Man, it's getting on my bedtime. You know,
Get out of here, kiddo. Get out of here, kiddo. If you gotta go, get.
I'm just saying, sometimes you don't want to explore.
Stay jolly, because this is how you learn to be a man.
Right.
Yes.
You sit around with other men and you talk about women's vaginas.
I sit around with a bunch of people.
You can't learn everything from your sister, okay?
Wow. No. Not even. Wow. Okay.
Your sister cousin aunt.
I'm gonna laugh the day that Texas has a higher rate of incest than Alabama.
It's never gonna happen.
I will.
We already have like 10 times your population, and y'all have like 10 times the amount of incest. No, y'all got like 100 times the amount of incest.
You know what?
With 1/10 of the population. So,
like the
just
Deep South,
statistically,
old
it's never
Dixie is
gonna
the
happen.
reigning champ.
It's never gonna happen.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just throwing. I don't even, look, dude. Y'all have the Middle East beat for incest.
No, they don't.
Yeah. No,
they don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, let me lay some knowledge upon you, good sir. Pakistan, which is technically considered part of the Middle East, primarily a Islamic country. 60%, 60% of marriages in the country of Pakistan are between first cousins.
It's an Alabama joke. Come on, man. Just give this one to me. Nobody
I'm
actually
just telling you, bro. It's not.
I just want to say it.
Like, as bad. The worst place in America is would be like fucking the Mormon camp inside of some of these countries. Is all I'm saying.
All right, fine. Got to bring facts to shit when we're trying to have fun.
I know, right?
Sorry, my bad.
Right, fuck you and your data.
God damn it. All right. Well, look, guys, it's time to wind this one down for this evening. We done hit the 2-hour mark. I think we're good. I have nothing else to talk about. So, Corey, are you doing your chat tonight?
No, I've got family here.
Oh, okay.
I did mine the other day.
He covered for me on Wednesday. He covered for me on Wednesday when I had to go to a school function for my daughter. So
yeah,
I
had family show up for the weekend, and we're still eating dinner at the moment.
All right. Well, it is time for us to run this one into the ground. So we will see you guys next week for the Geek Chat. Of course, we've got all the same chats going on throughout the week, whether it's my channel, Honda's channel, Corey's channel, whatever. There's always a chat, having fun, doing something. So that is a for sure thing. So, but we're going to get out of here for today. Thanks for sticking around for the Geek Chat, guys, ladies, gentlemen, all of you. And we will see you guys next time. So have fun, deuces, yo, all that good stuff, and enjoy the rest of your fucking weekend, guys.
Yeah, stay geeky, guys.
Later.